who comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Morning, everybody. I've been up since 7. Of course, I went to bed at 8 o'clock last night. I didn't go to sleep. I just went to bed. But I fell asleep about 10. Need a little extra sleep. It was a very wearing, emotionally wearing week. Oh, very wearing week. Wearing week. Wearing week. I was just practicing my verbiage. Wearing week.
Wearing what?
Wearing week. It has been a wearing week.
Wearing week.
As in
wearing out.
Arduous.
As in the trudge.
As in I went to bed early last night. That's what I was talking about. But good morning, everybody. All right, and I've already been to a meeting. Found a 8 o'clock men's meeting in Evergreen. It was a good meeting, man. It was really good. I haven't been to a men's meeting in a while. The shares were so good that I asked everybody in the group to be on the podcast. So, because I'm going to be building the podcast up again.
Hi, Ingrid.
No worries, Ingrid. It's good to see you. And thank you for letting me know that, and updating me where you're at with everything. I appreciate it. I've gotten everybody's messages. Daryl's going to finally get down and clean out his.
Well, I'm going to prepare it a little bit, but I've got to send pictures to the mover and so they can give me an accurate estimate, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, take your time on it. Get it done right.
Yes, I got the month of November to move it out. So.
Do you? There
you go. Yeah.
Might as well get it. Yeah, get it done. Do it before the snow hits this week because it's gone. I'm surprised it didn't snow already. So
we went through October without a snowfall. Yay!
Usually it snows by my birthday, which is September 18th.
I remember September 20th snow day. That was about a 3-footer.
I remember when we got some snow in July. Welcome to Daily Trudge. I'm Dion. That's Daryl. He's not usually here for the introduction. Sometimes he is. Hi, Jillian. It must be Saturday morning. Everybody's here.
Hi, Jillian.
Here, please say hello because I don't need to do that part either. It is today's daily reflection. We will be in Language of the Heart. Whenever we use these other books, I get a little excited because it's a little different. It's a little different. So, good afternoon, Patricia. It is good to see you. Everybody's here. Let's get this whoopee party started. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. I've been up since 7, so I'm awake. Well, kind of.
I watched this documentary about Pink last night.
About Pink?
Yeah. Let's get it started.
I didn't know that was by her. The first time I saw a Pink video, which was a very long time ago, I actually thought she was a man in drag. I was really drunk, so yeah.
It was really good, actually.
Pink's a great artist, but like anything else, I respect the fact that she gives back. That's what I like about.
Yeah, she's a huge advocate for and like Taylor Swift,
a lot of domestic
for young girls and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yep. Because she grew up in that kind of a life. That's why.
Yep.
She's tougher, man. All right. So keeping optimism afloat is going to be on the Language of the Heart, page 240. And this will be step 11 because, we're in the 11th month and that's how the Daily Trudge or that's how the Daily Reflections works. Yeah, I was kind of, I didn't want to get up at 7, but somebody decided heat needed to be at 75 overnight. And so I woke up sweating. But you'd be proud of me. I did not go wake everybody up and say, "What the fuck is your problem?" All right. Hi, Amber. Amber's here too. Did I not say hi? I said good morning. Okay. Well, if I missed you, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right. So I'm going to start a little bit before this. 12th stepping, talking at meetings, recitals of drinking histories, confessions of our defects, and what progress we have made with them no longer provides us with a released and abundant life. Our lack of growth is often revealed by an unexpected calamity or a big emotional upset. Perhaps we hit a financial jackpot and are surprised that this solves almost nothing, that we are still bored and miserable notwithstanding. I think what they're saying here is money doesn't buy happiness. Now, I will say that money doesn't make me happy, but it sure makes me happier.
It certainly is. It relieves a lot of financial stress. Yeah.
Sure, it does. Yeah. Yeah, it does. Money is something that we have to, I don't want to say deal with, but work with. If you want to really do anything, I mean, you're going to have some cash, So, but part of this also was that we may be going through a growth that feels like a lot of calamity, but what's happening is we're being set up for what's getting ready to happen. That God is setting me up, and I'm going to give a great example of this. Right before, when I was about 2 years sober, I had my first anxiety attack. And long story short, I was at home. I did not leave my room. By the time I was done, my hair was like halfway down my back. All right. My hair goes pretty fast though. But so I started going live. This is how this started, actually. It's how and it was called Daily Reflections. And I just read the daily reflections because there wasn't anything going on. I couldn't get to meetings. There was a little bit of support online. I'm like, well, gosh, what about people like me? So I started going live. And I had to stay home, learn how to stay sober, but still have some fellowship. And then COVID happened. And, because I was over here going, this sucks, I'm lonely. And then you all came into my world. I was happy. I'm like, now you'll see what it's like for me. Right? You have to stay home. So I started teaching people how to stay home, stay sober, and not kill each other. Because I just experienced that. I just went through 2 years of it. So, but sometimes we go through things and it feels like God is picking on us or he being mean, but really he's setting us up. He's giving us the courage and the strength that we need in order to face what's coming up. There's sometimes, like right now, people are getting in trouble. I'm not going to go into that whole thing, but I was talking with a friend yesterday who was also involved with that. And the answer was this: God removed us because he didn't want us there, period. And, God, where I thought, I'm not being invited and, was really God saying, Dion, you ain't missing out on nothing. You don't want the end result of this. I know you don't. So I'm not going to give it to you. And I listened. For the most part. I'd give myself a good 87% of the time.
I'll be right back, man.
Okay, sounds good, man. As we usually don't get drunk on these occasions, our bright-eyed friends tell us how we are doing. But inside, we know better. We know that we aren't doing well enough. We still can't handle life as life is. There must be a serious flaw somewhere in our spiritual practice and development. Man, okay. Books reading my fucking mail here. I felt this way, you bet. Kind of went through it this week a little bit. All right. So what is it then? The chances are better than even that we shall locate our troubles in our misunderstanding or neglect of AA step 11, prayer, meditation, and guidance from God. Now, um, yeah, I can't forget to pray. You know, even now there are things that go on and it doesn't go right, and then I think about it. It's like, Dion, did you even pray on it? Did you even ask for any guidance? I'm like, no, I didn't. I can do it right then and there and go ahead and change it immediately. I can do that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know, I've worked with, we work with sponsees, like, and they do this all the time, where they'll start to make decisions all on their own, and you got to kind of stop them. Like, hey, I'm going to tell my job that I'm an alcoholic. We're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's hold on here. Let's talk to everybody involved first. Okay. Not saying that you're wrong, but let's teach you that we don't make decisions by ourselves. And for me, meditation is, shutting up and letting my subconscious do what it needs to do. And a lot of people, why don't we've got several people here. Why don't you start telling us some of the ways that you meditate? Because I think people have a misconception of meditation. Here again, it's individualized. That is between you and your higher power. Some people can sit still for 20 minutes. I don't even do that in my sleep. The cats sleep with my wife because I roll around too much. So I do other things. The other steps can keep most of us sober and somehow functioning, but step 11 can keep us growing. If we try hard and work at it continually, if we expand even 5% of the time on step 11, that we will habitually and rightly lavish on step 12, the results can be wonderfully far reaching. This is an almost uniform experience of those who constantly practice step 11. Step 11 hard is one of those steps that just doesn't get brought up much in meetings. There are steps that don't seem to make it 6, 7, and 11. We don't talk about the family afterward. 2 wives, 2 employers are all in the big book, but they're never in a regular reading. So it's about expanding. It's about just becoming better each day and making progress. And step 11 is akin to step 3, where I started my relationship with God or my higher power, right? Cool. So this is how Amber does her meditation. On the daily, I take a few seconds, close my eyes, and take a few deep breaths till I could feel calm, usually focusing on a positive ideal for whatever situation I'm in. Ask for direction so I can be of service, I bet is the next word. Awesome. Good job. Thank you. Patricia, when I wake up, waking on the beach, cooking before I go to bed, my daily inventory. Okay. Yeah. Cooking, walking on the beach, doing something. If you could do something that you don't really need your mind for, that's a good thing too. I'm really just distracting my brain. Right. So service. Then I carry on with my shit. I was in a meeting last night when we had to rediscuss the family afterwards. On a deeper level, I plan trips, usually to the cabin, but sometimes to Vegas, LMAO. Yeah.
I do. I've explained it before. Right now, I don't have a tub, but I normally would get into the tub and I do my serenity prayer, 3rd step prayer while the tub is filling and sit in the water and just be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And then whatever comes into my head. And sometimes it's something inspirational, some things I'll get an answer to this or that or what have you. Right now, all I got is a shower. So I listen to the water and do the same thing, just let it beat on the back of my neck type of deal while that happens. So
I don't have a bathtub either.
Yeah. I miss a tub. And if I do have a tub, then it's like even in both scenarios, it's like my bathroom can't have a window in it because I turn the lights off and I do it in the dark. I mean, I'll actually not rent a house because it has windows in the bathroom. I'm just weird that way.
No, even if it's like blurred out the window and stuff, my
It
wife
lets
wants the curtain closed in the bathroom.
it lets
Everybody,
that light in. Yeah.
yeah, yep. In this article, I'd like to develop step 11 further for the benefit of the complete doubter, the unlucky one who can't believe it has any real merit at all. I'm only going to do a couple more of these because we still got the book too. In lots of instances, I think people find their first great obstacle in the phrase, God as we understand him. The doubter is apt to say, on the face of it, nobody can understand God. I have to believe that they're the first cause of something and maybe a somebody, but I can't get any further than this. I think people are kidding themselves when they say that they can. Even if there were somebody, why should he bother with a little me when in making the cosmos run, he already has plenty to do? As for those folk who claim that God tells them where to drill for oil or when to brush their teeth, well, they just make me tired. Yeah, I understand this. It's the God's for other people, but not for me because I'm nobody, and that's not true either. You know, I was told very early in the program to stop determining my worth. God does that part because every time I determine my worth, I go to an extreme. You know, why can't I just be the normal guy that God helps every now and again, just doing what I need to do? I don't need to be any of these other things. I get what I need by putting myself in the middle of the herd and just being a part of. Um, but it can be hard to find your higher power, even when you do believe, because our brain it didn't want it. It's like, oh, that's weak, Dion. That's weak. Oh, those people are weak. You know, I'm shoving alcohol down my gullet. I think you're muted.
That's usually when I was. I didn't want to have my sound of my vape overpowering. I it's hard sometimes for me to seek my higher power when I'm in the middle of my bag of shit. And that's when I actually need it. That's when I need my faith the most.
Yeah.
I mean, when I'm on cruise control, it's really easy to be grateful to God.
Yeah. And when life is comfortable, when I get comfortable, I may be in a little bit of danger. Not that I necessarily have to be uncomfortable, right? So, all right. So keeping optimism afloat. And let's look up the word. Let's look it up. It's in there because I looked it up earlier. Because I was in a meeting and we read it and I wanted to know what it said. I'm just trying to do this more so that, what am I even looking for?
Optimism.
Yeah, I'm awake. Omit. Positive and hopeful outlook. Yeah.
You know, it's also healthier to be optimistic.
It is. You know, and we describe that in a few ways. You know, glasses half full, glasses half empty. You know, how we look at things. Being optimistic, for me, I think it goes with being open-minded, and hearing other things out. Like the other day when I was having a hard time, Amber was trying to help me, and I was not being optimistic. I even told her, I'm like, there's a part of me that doesn't want to listen to you. And I had to tell on myself because it was, you know, so my frame of mind and my attitude wasn't right and it wasn't helping me. So I had to work on changing my attitude so that I could kind of move forward.
Well, I think you put it well when you said you're just sitting here waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah.
And sometimes the shoe doesn't drop, but you're actually
Mhm.
like going
It
to
didn't.
succeed.
Mhm. It was old behavior and old thinking.
Exactly.
And
I called it Pavlov's dog.
yeah, because what it is I'm going through something that I've never been through before. I'm experiencing something I haven't success at doing it, right? Hey, Jennifer. Good to see you.
Hi,
Where have
Jennifer.
you been? It's good to see you, honey. All right. A sober alcoholic finds it much easier to be optimistic about life. True. It's true. Once it's a little bit easier to take a look at life when I don't have the alcohol in me. Of course, if I'm shaken, everything is still going to be kind of hard to be optimistic. Optimism is a natural result of finding myself gradually able to make the best rather than the worst of each situation.
Hi, Ingrid. Have a
like,
good day.
like a taller try to kick it off. Just wear the fucking shoe. Bye, Ingrid. We'll see you soon. Um, as my physical sobriety continues, I come out of the fog, gain a clearer perspective, and am better able to determine what course of action to take. As vital as physical sobriety, I can achieve a greater potential for myself by developing an ever increasing willingness to avail myself of the guidance and the direction of my higher power. That was kind of a learned virtue for me because I wasn't used to it. And yeah, the ever increasing willingness to avail myself of the guidance and direction of higher power. Okay, now if you do that, I'm going to tell you something. You may feel like the other shoe's going to drop. That's what was going. It's great how you go to a meeting and you hear exactly what you need to hear because everything is connected. It's all connected. You could take two topics that seem very much apart, and they are not. They're very closely related. Um, my ability to do so comes from my learning and practicing the principles of the AA program. The melding of my physical and spiritual sobriety produces the substance of a more positive life. When I have a good attitude, and that's why those tools are important because, or even realizing, let's go back to honesty on that actually. If you can honestly take a look inside and say, yeah, I don't have a very good attitude today. What? And then I can ask myself things like, why? Why, Dion? Why? What's going on that is so horrible that this is what's going on? And what that does is it allows me to tell on myself to other people and to say, oh, okay, yeah, that's what's going on, right? And remember, well, did you pray on it, Dion? Back to basics. Did you pray on it? No, I didn't. Okay, I missed a step. There we go. Now I can go back, and this allows me to start my day over. I can start my day over anytime that I am willing to. And I got to be willing to start my day over. So even then, I might be at a point where I'm got this justified anger in my head, and that willingness isn't there. And somebody might point it out, and I'll be, oh shit. Well, I guess I better be willing about that. Well, I don't have the willingness. Okay, I'm going to pray for the willingness. God, I need the willingness. Okay, now I have the willingness, and now I can do some. See how we've used these tools. There's also something else that I'm going to start utilizing, and I'm stealing it from Daryl. And it's the God bag. Yeah. I'm going to start utilizing these God bags and make it. This is something that we are supposed to be doing. It's a part that I have been missing. I'm actually going to. I like boxes. I collect boxes. So I'm just going to grab one of my boxes and I'm going to utilize it.
Put a little
And what
slot
it is,
in the top.
yeah. Why don't you explain the process of the God bag for us real quick? because it's that they're
So,
both
so the
making
God bag,
house.
what you do with the God bag is you just take a little slip of paper, use whatever you want, and you put down whatever it is that's going on that's bugging you or is screwing with you or whatever. And you take that, fold it up, and you put it in the God bag and you give it to God. You let it go. And then every now and then, God bag needs a little bit of maintenance. You go into that God bag and you pull out a slip of paper. Well, that one, oh yeah, that's taken care of. Get rid of it. Pull out another slip of paper. Well, that one needs a little more work. Put it back in there.
Mm-hmm.
But the theory behind it is to teach you to let it go.
Yep.
If you're going to give it to God, don't put claw marks in it trying to take it back.
No. Then now there's several psychological things happening there.
Yep.
Number one, you're doing pen to paper, and there is
Yep.
power in pen to paper. You're admitting it. You're in a sense, when you write it down, it's now true. It is now true. Since I've written it down, I've admitted it to myself, right? So now I've accepted the problem. Now I'm going to take that action. I'm going to go one further, and I'm going to put it in a bag. And
It's
in
a
this
mini.
action, my brain is saying it's no longer, this is true, and it's not mine right now. Blanc.
It's a mini journal.
It's a fourth step.
It's well, especially if there's a resentment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all those
Yeah.
things.
Uncle Bob stepped on my toe. God, take that anger away from me,
Yeah, yeah.
or
So,
whatever. I mean,
well,
it
and
runs a
then,
gamut. If it's causing you to be agitated, put it in the God bag, and that doesn't necessarily be a bad thing. I mean, sometimes it can be like you were talking about. I'm worried about the other shoe falling.
yeah, I'm too
It's like,
excited. It could be anything that's going to make you drink or
yep.
not have a decent attitude.
When I
But
think of agitation, I think about a washing machine. That's what
even
that's.
more, even more happens. Even more happens. I wasn't done with my description, but it's exciting. Beyond that, you've let it go. So you're learning delayed gratification. But then what's going to happen is when you pull it out, you get to mark your progress. And then you're claiming spiritual progress, which is in the third step. Now you've completed it. And the other thing that happens is trust and faith. Because then you look at it and you're like, oh, God walked me right through that.
Right.
Oh, I remember God did this. And it creates, you're even closer to your higher power. And I'm sure I didn't even catch everything that's happening in that. And that's I kind of want to, I want to utilize it for what we're doing. So,
Yeah, it's also teaches a discipline in a way.
yeah.
You can't go back there and play with the toy if you put the toy up.
That's right.
It's
What,
like don't go up on that shelf and pull that thing back down.
yeah. What do we call it? Out of sight, out of mind. And it works in this situation. The process of letting go. Uh, I personally need to do just 10th step so I never have to do a 4th step again. If I do a 10th step and write about it in my 11th step nightly journal, but if I put it in a God bag, I'm skipping telling and just
It
skipping.
doesn't necessarily have to be 10-step
Yeah,
stuff though. But yeah, that is
this
correct
is
as
a
well.
process of letting go. Yeah. Um, and for me, that wouldn't work. The bag would get too full. Okay. It's very
Yeah,
optimistic.
there was a couple times in the beginning where it was like there was a lot of little pieces of paper that I had to go through.
Sure. Sure it is. Yeah. These are expert. Oh, I get it. I get it. Yeah. I'm just giving you crap. Yeah. Of course, your experience. Absolutely, man. So
It's just like any other tool, Amber. It's like some tools work, some tools don't. You know, basically what that boils down to is experience, strength, and hope. And I hear what everybody says, and I might try some of the things that are suggested or were done, and sometimes that don't work for Daryl.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Sometimes they do, and then I do them twice.
Like here, you say I 11-step nightly journal. It's kind of the same thing. See, I don't journal, but I use it. So in a sense, it's kind of the same thing. It might be a shorter version, but if you were journaling and doing a God bag, you're probably doubling your work. So that's why you're like, yeah,
because you probably have duplication.
Process. Yeah, you needed an extra tool in there for Amber. Absolutely, you bet. So
somewhere I have some of my old journals. It'd be interesting to go back through them and kind of look at what I wrote, because some of it was pretty ugly.
I don't think I'd want to do that.
Yeah, as I
my podcast,
as I was saying that, I'm going, do I really want to do that?
Yeah, exactly.
Probably ought to burn them
until it comes out of my mouth.
Where's the rewind button?
Yeah, they need to start. Yeah, it's like my keyboard. The backspace button is used more than any other.
But sitting in there is kind of like a time capsule.
Yeah,
in those pages.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what's good about, going back and checking your journaling and things like that is you can see there again, you can see the progress that you've made.
Exactly.
So we're all going to go through, our experience. Like Amber's is different, Daryl's is different from mine, but we all end up landing at the same place, which is step
recovery.
Step 12. Yeah, recovery. But the process, that can always look different. You bet. It's about supplying the needs, not you need to do what I do. No. If people are like, yeah, I would rather journal than a God bag, then that's what I'm going to support you on, because
same thing, different method
would be, yeah. And
journaling takes the intangible that's wandering around up in here, and it sets it down on something, on a piece of paper, and that becomes a tangible thing. It makes it real, and once it's real, I can do something with that.
Yeah, and both those processes would work. When you say that, what you're saying in the beginning of that, I'm going to tell you how I feel. What you're saying is Dion doesn't follow the instructions in the big book. I'm just letting you know that's how that comes across. I don't disagree with you. But when I answer a question on page 86, how to answer my questions, overcomplicating would have killed me in the beginning. Okay. I'm not going to argue with you on that. So.
I wouldn't argue with anybody on anything per se. It's their particular journey, their experience.
Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is.
And just like our concept of the God bag, for some it works, for some it won't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for today. I hope everybody has a good day. I love you. Huh?
Love you, man. Be good to you today. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful 24.
Peace out and have a day.